UFC 269 was absolutely insane. I'm going to go through the entire card. We'll talk about each matchup. Wow, that's really what I have to say, and I can't wait to get to the main fights because, oh my God. Smash that like button if you guys are tuning in. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn those post notifications on too. The Fight Companion was also amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, make sure you tune into those. Let's get into fight one. We'll quickly go through it. Gillian Robertson defeats Priscila Cachoeira. Expected result here. No real surprise. Cachoeira comes in way overweight. Gillian Robertson gets the win. I really don't want to spend too much time on this one, but she got a first-round rear naked choke in a fight she was a really big favorite in. Robertson stays alive as a potential 125, like outside the top contender. Scrappy girl, good grappling game. Excited to see what's next. The next fight is really where I want to get started at. It's Tony Kelley versus Randy Costa. Oh my God. Tony Kelley with the upset. He put it on Costa. Costa had nothing for him. From start to finish, Costa had nothing. He was getting pressed by Kelley early, couldn't deal with the pressure. Gets the fight to the ground, starts breaking. You see just big shots being thrown there by Tony Kelley. He then gets top position, unloading with elbows, punches from the top, like hammer fist, forearm shots. And then the referee has no choice but to stop the fight. Costa just didn't even look like he was there. Couldn't deal with any pressure. I never thought of Tony Kelley as a huge finisher, but he destroys Costa. You look at how well he did against Yanez, and then to come in here against Tony Kelley, a lot less of a, overwhelming opponent, I guess, per se. Destroys him. Great win for Tony Kelley. For Costa, he needs some work, man. I don't know. Maybe it was a mental thing. We don't know what's going on the inside. I do hope he bounces back, but really disappointing to see Costa get beat down like that. The next one, Ryan Hall, Darrick Minner. I got to say, Darrick Minner deserves a lot of respect because he is damn durable on the ground. His jiu-jitsu defense off the charts. Was able to fend off the submission attacks from Hall. Yeah, he finished the fight. He was on full mount bottom. But still, at the end of the day, he went 3 rounds with Hall on the floor. Not a terrible performance. He probably won the first round. 29-28 Hall really on most people's scorecards. And then Hall finished real strong. Maybe a 10-8 final round, but I'd say more 10-9. For Ryan Hall, stays alive as a fun guy to watch with a great grappling game at 145 pounds. Minner, always scrappy. I don't know exactly what's next for Hall. Don't see him as a top flight contender, but a fun guy to keep on. And always weird matchups and wild fights, and he's dangerous as hell when the fights get to the floor. Tough loss for Minner, but for Hall, good performance. Gets back on track. Erin Blanchfield destroys Miranda Maverick. It looked like she was going to get a submission in the first round. On the ground, Blanchfield looked like Khabib out there. Maverick could not stop the takedown. Dominant positional control for Erin Blanchfield. She looked off the charts good. I was so impressed with Erin at 22 years of age. The sky is by far the limit. And seeing how the co-main event goes, anything can happen in fighting. I think Erin Blanchfield, keep a steady, slow pace. 22. 100% can see her with that grappling game as a future contender. Excellent win for her. Maverick will be back, but we got to pump the brakes on her being a potential, future top level competition girl. Or maybe Blanchfield just that level on the ground. We'll see. Blanchfield, fun future, definitely. The next one, André Muniz, Eryk Anders, went as expected. Muniz gets off his favorite submission. Armbar. Done. Eryk Anders on the feet, didn't really have a ton for Muniz. Takedown was there for Muniz. He then, was fighting for back position and then locks up the arm, gets it done 3 minutes into that first round. It's a big win to beat Eryk Anders. Eryk is not a ranked guy, but he's still top flight. Muniz now wants to move forward and potentially fight a contender. I got to pull up the UFC rankings real quick. And if I can find a ranked guy to give him, I'm going to give him one. See if we can find it here. As I misspell rankings. Let's see. Here we go. Athlete rankings, middleweight division. In the 15, I could see him beating Shabazian. Weidman, I don't know if he's ready to come back. Imavov, a potential matchup. Not a bad one. Do they really want to feed Shabazian to him, though? I don't know. He might be held off from a top-ranked contender, but I think he can beat a lot of these guys on the floor. Keep your eye on André Muniz because he looked fantastic in beating Eryk Anders here. Now, the next fight of the night, Bruno Silva early had a little bit of trouble with Wright. Wright landed like a beautiful body kick straight shot combo. He was chopping with just insane power shots to the body from his karate-esque style. Bruno Silva cracks him with massive hooks in close. Wright's pretty much finished. Silva then follows up for the stoppage. He does get it. 1:28 of round 1. Great win for Bruno Silva. Jordan Wright, decent kid. Offensively, fantastic. Not great defensively, and if you hit him with a hard shot, he will fall. Big win for Bruno Silva. I know he also asked for a top-ranked opponent, but I'd hold the brakes on that. Maybe do you do him and Muniz, but I see him getting tapped out there. I don't think that's a great matchup. I think Muniz deserves better, certainly. I don't know the exact fight for Bruno Silva. It's not going to be a ranked guy just yet, and if they do give him a ranked guy, maybe Shabazian, striker versus striker fight, but I could definitely see him losing. Great fight, though, for as long as it lasted. Big win for Bruno. Moving on up, Tuivasa crushes Augusto Sakai and emerges as a heavyweight contender. I was so impressed with Ty's grappling defense. In the clinch, he was out-grappling Sakai, landed beautiful shots in close. Ty has that gift of knockout power, and he absolutely destroys Sakai, sleeping him against the cage. Tai Tuivasa is a problem. Shuivasa, we did a Shui for him, getting the W. Great performance for Ty. I was so impressed by him, and I feel like he deserves top flight competition now. Let's look at heavyweight. Still going in the wrong direction. Heavyweight division. He just beat 11 Sakai. Am I crazy for being intrigued by him and Tom Aspinall? I don't know if they'd want to do that fight. Potential Marcin Tybura matchup is there. I don't think Walt Harris would be the fight. I don't think he's going to get Shamil. And I believe Shamil might have a fight book. Don't know for certain, though. Chris Dawkins is fighting against Derrick Lewis, maybe the loser. Jairzinho Rosenstruik, that is a very interesting fight. There's options. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they went the Jairzinho route. I don't know. If they really want to bump him up the ranks, you have him right now sitting outside of the rankings. He's going to be jumping into probably the 11th spot. Maybe they rush him to Jairzinho. That'd be a hell of a fight. And one shot would end it. For Augusto, step back here, take some time off. 2 bad knockouts in a row. That's got to do something to your confidence and potentially weaken the chin. Give him some time. The next one, Dominick Cruz looked like prime form after coming through some adversity in the first round. Dropped by a jab. But then Cruz started getting going in the second and third. Munhoz landed decent punches, but not enough for Cruz. Cruz would enter the pocket with like his stance switch flurry and just unload beautiful strikes. Dominick Cruz looked fantastic out there. Pedro Munhoz, tough as always, but Cruz is the man. Where does he go at bantamweight now, though? You don't beat a top guy, but at the end of the day, Munhoz is 8. Cruz was 9. Cody Garbrandt's out of the picture. Merab Dvalishvili, is Dominick Cruz crazy enough to go for him? As I feel like that could potentially be the fight, unless maybe they want to go in a different direction and maybe give him like a Rob Font. The options are all there for him. I'm so excited for Dominick Cruz getting back in the mix with this big win. For Munhoz, step back. Don't necessarily see him out of the top. He's still a top flight guy. Don't have a specific matchup I want to give him. But Dominick Cruz, I cannot wait to see him again. He looked off the charts good. Back to prime form and recovering from adversity. Great work for Dominick Cruz, whose record's fantastic, 24-3. Don't sleep on Cruz just yet, guys. Josh Emmett, Dan Ige, a fight that was extremely close. Josh Emmett drops Ige early. Ige's able to recover, get some good work off on the feet of his own. Second round, he hurts Emmett. Third round is ultra competitive. I thought this was a coin flip fight. At the end, I wouldn't have been shocked if they gave it to Dan Ige. Josh Emmett does get it. Maybe doing a little bit more power strikes, but there's an argument to be made for Dan Ige too, but Emmett gets the win, and he moves forward as the rightful winner in a fight that was this close of a margin. Where do you go if you're the 145-pound contender, Josh Emmett? You beat Dan Ige, who's right there. Giga Chikadze already scheduled for a fight at the moment against Calvin Kattar. Is Josh Emmett potentially going to be working his way to a fight against the Korean Zombie? Maybe Yair Rodriguez if he's ready to go, depending how much time Emmett needs. the loser of Chikadze Cater or even the winner could be next for Josh Emmett. Emmett's in a great position in this weight class, and he's really working his way towards the top. It's only up from here. Better competition, top flight guys. There's some scary matchups incoming, but I am absolutely intrigued to see how Josh Emmett fares against some of these top fighters. His power will carry him through, but I could see him definitely getting stopped. For Ige, little bit of a step back. I'd like to see him take some time. Maybe a Shane Burgos fight. I'd actually be interested to see those two savages go at it. I like Ige Burgos next. Great fight. Josh Emmett with the W. And that was the full undercard, which was awesome. Smash the like button, guys. And if you're new, subscribe and turn those post notifications on. Let's talk the first fight on the main card. Sean O'Malley looked better than ever. Patient, poised, defensively sound with the grappling. His jab on the money. Destroys Raulian Paiva. Sets him up using jabs and then massive overhand. Hurts him against the cage. Unloads big shots. Puts him to the floor. Done. Over. Referee has to run in to save Paiva's life as he drops against the cage. Sean O'Malley is a problem, guys. I'm telling you, this kid is for real now. Do they give him a ranked guy? I don't know. I'm looking at the rankings. Bantamweight is absolutely stacked. Do you want to give him Cody Stamann? I'm not ready for that yet. Song Yadong, potential matchup, but I don't know. I'm iffy on that one. Frankie Edgar, I don't think they're going to give him a ranked guy next. I think Adrian Yanez is potentially next for him. Cody Garbrandt could have been a potential fight, but I doubt that's happening after the way his fight went, which we'll talk about up next. For Paiva, still a fun guy to watch. Honestly, I think he fares better at 25. The bigger dudes at 135 will test the chin and sleep him because he can be knocked out. And he's been hurt badly, even winning against Kyler Phillips. Hurt super bad. Deserved the draw, really, in that one. And then Sean O'Malley puts him down to rest. O'Malley, take your time, but O'Malley is for real, guys, and you have to take him seriously. Excellent striking technique. The next one, Kai Kara France, Cody Garbrandt. Kai Kara France annihilated Cody No Love Garbrandt. It wasn't a close fight in the slightest. Cody Garbrandt was circling back with, his back against the cage, not touching it, but near it. Kai slowly pressing. I called it on the fight companion. Kai is looking for the right hand. Misses the first. Slowly working towards it. Boom, cracks him, drops Cody. Cody's up, but he's affected. He gets dropped again. Cody, trying to say, let's brawl, let's go. Kai just puts the pressure on him, unloads shots, knocks him out. Beautiful fucking punching from Kai Kara France, who is a contender at 125 pounds now. He's emerged. He is that guy. And beating Cody Garbrandt is so good for your resume. Where does he go? Who does he fight at 25? Look at this. Kai Kara France at number 6. Alex Perez at number 4. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know if they jump him into a title fight just yet. Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno have some business to get done. I don't know if Davison wins. Potentially, we're looking at another fight between those two because the first being a draw, and then they'd be 1-1-1. Another option, maybe. Do they give Alex Perez the fight against Kai Kara France? It wouldn't be as compelling, though. I think ride the wave of momentum, hope for the best with Moreno and Figueiredo, and let's do Kai Kara France versus the winner. Because honestly, the man's earned his way up there. Years in the game, former Ultimate Fighter contestant, unfortunately not a winner. Yes, he lost to Royval, submission ace. That is the fight game. Win against Bontorin, win against Garbrandt, and the loss before that is Brandon Moreno. Top flight competition only, and only 2 losses inside of the UFC. Kai Kara France is emerging, guys, and 2 first-round knockouts in a row. I think that might earn him title shot. Problem is, Askar is also in the mix. I don't know if they'd want to maybe jump him on this fight. I feel like that's a scary matchup, though, because Askar Askarov is a stud and could potentially give him real problems on the floor. I don't know exactly what the UFC will want to do. I'm kind of liking the idea of Kai fighting for the belt. Cody Garbrandt on the opposite side, no love. He's in a rough spot, guys. This is awful for him. I feel like moving forward, fun fights. I don't see him challenging for a belt again. He's 30 years old. He's been knocked out plenty of times. How many knockouts in the past? He's been knocked out 4 out of his 5 losses, and he's got 1 win in his last 6 fights. And it's against an older Asuncao. If he wants to stay at 25, which I would commend him to potentially do, I'm not opposed to seeing him still fight a name. Maybe the Matt Schnell fight if they could potentially do that, but I know Schnell's having issues with the weight. Do they do Bontorin? I don't know. Another option, if they want to give him Menel Kape, who's number 14 in the world, but I don't know if he'd want to take that step back. Very interesting situations. I know the broadcast table talked about Kopp versus Cara France, winner fighting for the belt, but I don't think they're realizing how far back in the rankings Kopp is. And Matheus Nicolau, regardless of how you felt it went, does have a win over him. I don't know what's next for Cody. Maybe Pantoja, but it's just rough position to be in for Cody Garbrandt, losing like this. Maybe he jumps back up to 35. Maybe the Sean O'Malley fight does happen, which I don't believe goes well for him. Cody needs some time and maybe a coaching change. Great win for Kai. Featured bout of the night. Jeff Neal squeezes by Santiago Ponzinibbio. At the end, I thought Neal did this much, but I wouldn't be shocked if the judges had went the opposite way. Neal probably gets the first, second probably Ponzi, third Neal. Beautiful right, or excuse me, I believe left hands landing for Neal just consistently because he is out of that southpaw stance. Ponzinibbio didn't really have an answer for the speed. I mean, at moments, obviously, he had strikes of his own, but he likes to stand in the pocket and bang. Neal, just a slim, more technical, gets the win by decision. Moving forward, where do both of them go, really, from here? Top flight, but I don't know about top of the top, not tippy top. Ponzinibbio 14, Neal number 12. I don't think Khamzat Chimaev is the fight for them. I don't think they're going to feed him to Sean Brady. I think Neal is in a spot where potentially a fight against like a Leach or, I mean, maybe does he somehow work his way into a Chiesa fight, which I think would be a really hard matchup. I don't know exactly what they do. I think Neal is in a weird situation because he's at the top, but I don't think he competes well versus like the tip of the top at the weight class for Ponzi. Unfortunate loss and step back. I don't know. I don't know what they'll want to do. It's probably going to be somebody unranked, though, and I could see him being booted from the rankings next week after this loss to Jeff Neal. Great fight, though. Competitive action. Good fight. I guess I can't say great. I don't want to throw great around too much. I make the mistake of doing that sometime. It was a good fight between these two, especially on this card. We'd have to just consider it good. Co-main event, the biggest upset in MMA history. I was in shock. I said, what the fuck is going on? Is really what you thought. First round, Nunes did okay, but she didn't look like she was going 100% hard on Pena. Second round, Pena's boxing with her with straights. Nunes is just sitting there throwing back. Instead of chopping the legs, moving, resetting, she's trying to bang. She's not landing. Pena's landing the cleaner shots. Nunes is just getting cracked with everything. She gets hurt bad, goes to the ground. Pena's on it, grabs around to the back. Nunes, like, it just didn't look like she was there. The submission is not fully under the chin. Has the rear naked, but not with the hooks in either. Nunes quickly taps. Very strange. Pena broke Amanda Nunes, and I don't know if Amanda can come back the same from that, being such a dominant champion and then losing to, a challenger who wasn't expected to even compete with her. I'm amazed. Juliana Pena, Amanda Nunes too. That's what's next. Unless there's a reason that Nunes doesn't want to fight her, it's her and Pena's in the rematch. Now, if you said, wait, she don't want to fight her or she gets an injury and she doesn't want to do it, like who would be the next girl in line? I feel like it's this one right here. Valentina Shevchenko would jump up and challenge Pena, having a win over her for the double crown. I think that makes most likely the most sense. Absolute chaos. The fight game is insane. I expect to see Valentina as the number one fighter also in the women's pound for pound rankings. Juliana Pena, huge upset. Still shocked. Just amazed. Main event of the evening. Dustin Poirier has a championship level performance in the first, but the volume was too high. He dropped Oliveira, had him hurt on multiple occasions on the feet, but Oliveira's tough as they come. Second round, Oliveira mostly controls on the floor, looks for some takedowns. A little bit of controversy with him having the omoplata position and then grabbing the glove. I know there was some talk, hey, that's an illegal grab, and the referee didn't catch it. At the end of the day, he didn't catch it. Nothing we can do. He controls the rest of the second round from the full guard, which Dustin just locked up. Third round commences. Dustin looks flat. He looks tired. Oliveira pressing, looks to lock up, gets this fight against the cage, goes towards the leg where he then sets up the back control position. Rear naked choke. He's on it. Amazing. Charles Oliveira looked absolutely amazing out there beating Dustin Poirier. He's resilient as hell. His ground game is the best in the game. And he becomes that, actually, he didn't become anything. He's still, but he becomes like the solidified champion. Now you beat Dustin Poirier. There's no more questions. Oh, is Poirier actually the best in the world? No, it is Charles Oliveira and still. and the deserving champion. He fights Justin Gaethje next. Islam Makhachev waits in the wings. If he beats Beneil Dariush, assuming he does, he will be the guy next in line. Dustin Poirier sent back to the shittiest of positions, but also the money positions. What's the fight I like for Dustin Poirier next? Nate Diaz. Another option, Conor McGregor. Either of those two could potentially be next for Poirier, which are huge money fights, but his dream of being champion may have just died. Unless Justin Gaethje knocks out Charles Oliveira, which now we have a different situation. Makhachev, though, is very close. Still, timing could permit. Dustin Poirier should not give up hope on being the champion just yet. Certain matchups and how the next fights play out for Oliveira could still set up Dustin Poirier to challenge for the belt once again. Excellent, excellent, excellent performance by Oliveira. Dustin Poirier gave it his all. He's the king of the stand-up. Gets to the ground with some of these elite level grapplers. There's a difference. He gets rear naked choked, as he did with Khabib, unfortunately. This time, standing. He has to submit and tap. Does not become the world champion. Very unfortunate for Dustin Poirier. I am thankful that he does have that interim belt at home, which he should be extremely proud of because he beat Max Holloway for it, who is a legit champion. And he did originally come from 145. So to beat the 45 champ for the interim belt, for him, he's got to feel like a champion in some ways. Charles Oliveira, though, at the end of the day, the real champ. And still, what a card, guys. I'm telling you, this was absolutely amazing. If you bet on this card, things went all over the place. If you bet on Nunes, some guy bet like $300-something thousand, like almost $350K. He might have just hung himself. He might be done. He's freaking out. I hope he's okay because he just lost a ton of money for only making potentially $30,000. You can't do that with fighting. The fight game is the craziest game, and anything can literally happen. Don't bet crazy. Bet intelligently. Amazing card. I hope you guys enjoyed the action. I hope you guys who watch the Fight Companion enjoyed that. I have UFC predictions dropping truly tonight, Sunday, December 12th for the upcoming Derrick Lewis versus Chris Daukaus card, which I am so stoked for. Smash that like button, guys. Keep it locked in here at MMA Experts. Much love to the continued supporters. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.